Hello, beautiful people. It's your boy Oliver, and I'm here with these two beautiful St. Lucians. We have the multi-facet Taylor, right? Did I say the name right?
You did.
Taylor, this is Miss St. Lucia, USA. She's also a singer, songwriter. And we have Miss Sunshine, entrepreneur, owner of Happy Cork, Happy Buds. And she has an amazing collection of black-owned spirits and wines. So tell me more about yourself.
So I'm Sunshine. I'm the owner of Happy Cork and Happy Buds Brooklyn. One which is a wine and spirits side, which carries the largest assortment of black-owned wines and spirits in the country. And then we also have Happy Buds, which is your CBD and wellness space, also located in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. But we are right now. We've been welcomed into our Happy Tasting Space, which is also located at Happy Cork. So welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us. And Miss Taylor, tell me more about yourself. Just a little brief intro. We're gonna dive into some conversation, but just tell me more about yourself and what you're into.
Hello, my name is Taylor St. Rose. I'm Miss St. Lucia USA 2025. I'm also a singer-songwriter. I'm working on my debut album right now, and I can't wait to put that out. It's directly connected to my St. Lucian heritage as I'm a country singer, which a lot of people don't expect. But yeah, and I'm also starting my foundation for all the things that I want to do for the community in the next couple of months. So yeah, thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you. And also, I didn't say this. Happy Independence. You guys just had your independence. Happy, what, 46 years?
46 years.
Yes, yes, yes. So when you hear 46 years of independence, what comes to mind?
So I think for me, I mean, I'm St. Lucian through and through. I grew up on the island. So for me, it just speaks volumes for what we've created. We will also just voted again the top island for honeymoons around the world. So I mean, that is not a small feat. So 46 years in the making, and we've accomplished so much.
And what yourself?
For me, when I hear 46 years, it seems so young, and I see so much opportunity. My mother is 46 years old, and when I look at her and I hear that number, I'm like, she's as old as the country is, and she has so much more life to live. There's so much more she wants to accomplish, and it really puts things into perspective of how much work that we have to do as an island and how much time we have.
Wow, 46 years. Wow.
That's your mom.
It's beautiful. Wow. I
I'm not 46.
have to say,
I'm close.
so you guys are living right here in New York City, right? Well, you live in America. Yes, we're here,
Yes,
New York.
we are here.
And how do you keep the spirit of St. Lucia alive? Like, how do you keep home away from home? So start with you. Like I remember earlier you were saying you live in a suburb. So like,
Yeah.
touch a little bit like where you grew up, and then how do you still keep the St. Lucian tradition alive with you?
Okay. Well, for me, I was born in Brooklyn. I was born in Brownsville, and I lived there until I was 6 years old, and then I moved to the suburbs. And my family, they were really great at making sure that I stayed connected. So every other weekend, we were coming back to Brooklyn, and my grandma lives here, my grandpa, so many of my aunts and uncles. So we have a huge family here and back home. And then every summer, I was sent back home as well. So I was able to connect to my family in St. Lucia. Additionally, now that I'm an adult, I don't live in the city. I split my time between Brooklyn and Westchester, but I still have so much family here. And when I'm here, I live in a house with like 10 of my family members, maybe 12 of my family members. So it's a Lucian home through and through. From the food that we cook, on every floor, someone's cooking something. We have our Sunday meals, we have our Friday meals. We were raised on the Adventist, so like Friday is fish day. Like I know every Friday there's gonna be fish, and I know that this is gonna be the Sabbath, and we just have all these traditions, and I'm really grateful to be able to be connected that way.
Wow, that's beautiful. Wow, love that.
Adventist, wow. I haven't met a 7-day Adventist in a while. So I think for me, I'm Lucian through and through. So from the spirits that we carry in the store, I celebrate my heritage all the time. We work closely with our Lucian brands, our Lucian partners throughout Brooklyn. So for me, and I'm Lucian. I speak Creole. My kids speak Creole. They don't speak Creole, but they know the words to say that I need to tell them. But yeah, for me, I'm Lucian, so I make sure that heritage is just there in everything that I do.
All right, I'm gonna test you. Say something in Creole. I want to hear it. Anything.
Um, what can I say?
Just don't curse.
Right. That's the words I know. Sakafet.
Mhm.
Wela.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What's going on? I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy, simple. I mean, now you put me on the spot, but
I know something.
but that was enough.
So, being that you said we're here, right? And we are here in the Happy Cork Speakeasy Tasting Room, which is amazing, by the way. And I was calling you the St. Lucian Willy Wonka of wine and spirits. Like, listen, we're gonna dive deep into this amazing space, but going back to we're here. What made you decide to want to get into owning your own business and the wine and spirits industry? And then you being a woman, I want you to touch on the challenges and how can you have solidarity.
So I think for most people, especially owning a wine and spirit space, they go into it with the intention of owning a space. For me, it happened. We purchased the building in 2016. There was a liquor store already here. So I like to tell people the wine and spirits industry found me. At that point, when they were out, I knew the space was deemed for a liquor store, but I wanted to rent the space out. We're on a side street. Nobody wanted to rent from us. It was kind of like, how do you get people here? At the time, there weren't a lot of residential buildings around. So I knew by 2018, if nothing was done, I had to do something, which started the birth of Happy Cork. But I knew if it was going to be something like a liquor store, it would have to be different. What would set us apart? You could come in, you could touch the bottles, you could feel good, the space smells good. And for me, that started the journey of having representation, people like me on the shelves. So that was where the whole brand started, of bringing in the largest assortment of Black-owned wines and spirits, because of the fact that I didn't see that representation anywhere. And we're here now.
Wow, I love that. Wow. As I'm listening to you speak, I have other thoughts that come to mind. And so you said you don't see, a lot of representation, and you're talking about black skin. But there's another representation that I want to bring up. Do you see a lot of women in your space? And is it more black women? Is it more white women? Spanish? Like, do you, and also, what can be done, as far as solidarity in the community with women in this industry? What do you think could be done to, like, so you guys can band together, just like how men, we stick together. So what can the women do? So first question is, do you see a lot of representation, women representation, and what kind of representation is that?
So for us, we not only pride ourselves on carrying Black owned and minority owned, but one of the biggest things for us is women owned brands. Because again, I didn't see that. That was not represented readily available in different stores on your shelves. And so for me, I knew I needed to create that space. So again, we have a huge selection of women owned brands. But what is so unique is the fact that as of late, we're seeing so many more brands come into the store that are women branded products, from your games that we carry to your candles, but also too within the wine and spirit space, a lot of it is actually women that are making such a big difference. And in terms of solidarity and banding together, I think for us, we've definitely prided ourselves on being involved in the community, working with various restaurants and bars, which happen to be women owned, to curate spaces that are also for women. I mean, you guys are welcome too. But I think for us, it's definitely having that relationship with a lot of the different brands out there.
Love that. All right, and then speaking on journey, I'm very curious to know, how did you get into being Miss St. Lucia, USA? What has been your journey, pageant journey? What has been your calling? What has that been for you?
For me, I would say that it's been a very interesting journey because I never thought that this is where I would be. I have never done pageants before. I have modeled a little bit when I was younger, but generally I've kind of kept to myself. And my little cousin did the pageant last year, and she's much more of a glam girl than I am. So that just made very much sense for her. And then when I went to the pageant, I met people I met the CG, I met the Four Roots team. They suggested that I do it. They came up to me at the award ceremony and they were like, have you ever considered doing a pageant? And I was like, no, not me. And for a few months I would see them. They're like, Taylor, are you gonna do it? I was like, no, I can't. And I finally had some conversations with my family and my friends, and they were persistent enough that I felt called to do it. I was like, they see something in me. And other people see it in me as well. I should find that in myself to put myself out there. So then when it came to the actual pageant, it was rough. It was a rough journey, to be honest, because I was coming from a place where my confidence was a little shaken and I didn't see how I could put myself out there so much. And like the day of the pageant, I woke up and like I thought I was gonna die. Like my heart was in pain. Like I called my aunt and I didn't even have to say anything. She just heard my voice and she was like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Like, you sound like you've been crying. Because I cried so much that day because it was fear that I was fighting through. That was my biggest hurdle, was just getting over that hump. And it was exhilarating to finally get on that stage and like, I'm not dying. Like, people are seeing me and I'm not just gonna like crumble and like melt away. Like, and that journey was just so powerful, and now I'm so much more comfortable being seen, and I feel so inspired to just do everything that I've been dreaming of. Even just like with music, I had taken a step back from music, and now I'm in the studio so much, I'm creating so much, and I can't wait to get back on stage, and I can't wait to share with people and just be seen.
So before to get into the music, I still want to know like what is the preparation to be a Miss USA, Miss St. Lucia USA? Like, what is the preparation? What do you go through? Like, what is the talking points? You got to like learn to walk. Like, what is the preparation that you're putting yourself through?
Learning how to walk was a really big hurdle for me. I said the fear was the biggest. The heels might have been the biggest. I'm a tall girl, so I was never walking around in these super high heels. And I was wearing 5.5-inch heels. That was crazy to me. And when I started, it was embarrassing. I have videos of my progression, and I looked like a little deer. People laughed at me. They're like, Taylor, like, this is not good. Like, but I worked really hard. There were days where I would go practice for like 4 hours in my heels before the practice that I had with the official pageant people. I had a walking coach. We drilled really hard and like progressively got higher and higher and thinner with the heels. And I didn't expect that to be the biggest hurdle. Additionally, there was the styling aspect of things. You have to get so many outfits, so much jewelry, and figure out your makeup and your hair. And I was not very much into that before the pageant, but I was also stuck in like my comfort zone, and my chaperone, her name is Wendy, she pulled me out of that. Like for some of my outfits, I wanted to play it safe, and she's like, no, like be bold. And I was like, I don't know if I'll look good. I've never seen myself look like this before. And she's like, you look good. Get out of your head, and you got this. So it was a lot of just like mental work and the physical aspect of just like working out and like getting strong enough. Like walking in those heels, you need to have strength.
Yeah.
Like I have a new appreciation for like when I see women who are like in their 50s in their heels walking in New York City, I'm like, you are fit. Like you are real fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Easier for you now?
Oh yeah, I love my heels now. Like
Oh.
I'm going to be 50 walking in my heels.
Go ahead.
Coach.
Go ahead. That is beautiful. Wow. So okay, before touching to the music, um, what are some of the myths that you would like to debunk when it comes to, oh yeah, Miss Beauty pageant? Like there's things that people would say like, you guys are not smart, it's about beauty, but like I want you to debunk, some of the myths that are surrounding, your industry.
I would say that the ideas that people have about women who do pageants and not being the brightest or anything like that, they clearly haven't watched pageants. And I honestly was not someone who followed pageants before this. But once I went and started studying women who came before me, they are some of the brightest women, and they have so much knowledge in their minds, and they're using their beauty as a platform, which I think is also a smart thing to do, because when people find you beautiful, they are more likely to give you opportunities, and that's just the reality of the fact. And it's when you recognize that and you use that to your advantage, then I think that's a very smart thing to do. Coming back to like this pageant, the girls that I met in the pageant, we're all very close now. they are so intelligent. They have so many big dreams. We can sit and have conversations about anything. Like Cheyenne, one of the girls in the pageant, she's studying neuroscience, and her brain is just so big, and just I can talk to her about any topic, all of them. And I think that even like Miss World, Miss Lisa Hanna from Jamaica, she is in government now. She writes incredible articles. She is one of the greatest thinkers that I have seen in a long time. And because she was Miss World, I think people downplay that, but her legacy after what she did with that title is so impressive. I think way more impressive than winning Miss World. And I think that there's so many people in pageantry who have that same legacy to build, and it's a shame that people downplay it because we get up there in pretty dresses and jewelry, and people like to make fun of like the question and answer portion, because it's like, yeah, there's a way to answer in pageantry, but I think that you cannot be someone who has no substance and win a pageant.
I agree. I don't think
Take that.
much work goes into it. My mom has been a chaperone.
Oh, really?
For a year. She was a chaperone for several Miss St. Lucia's, like on the island as well. So I know how much work goes into it. So I don't downplay you guys at all. It is, I mean, from the questions, but your talent and everything that comes with it. So I give you guys your kudos because it is hard work. It's a lot of hard work. Yeah.
I want to get a little nosy.
Yeah.
How much money? Like, what's the money? Are you making money? I want to know. And then, because yes, that's nice, you're right, but is there money to be made? Or do you get any kind of money? Like, after you win, what else comes with it? But let's start with the money.
Well, when it comes to the money, there are bigger pageants that you make more money. I saw that they were advertising for Carnival Queen, and they win like 25,000 for Carnival Queen. We don't win any.
I mean,
We don't win anything near that. We haven't had our award ceremony actually, but we do win a couple $1,000s. But competing in a pageant is expensive.
Yeah.
That's something
you
that
gotta pay. You gotta pay.
well, you get sponsors, and that is, but if you don't get a lot of sponsors, then you're stuck paying thousands of dollars to compete in a pageant. Yeah. I was fortunate and I got a lot of sponsors, and I'm very, very grateful to every single person. But even still, I had to spend a lot of money. And so if you don't win, then you have all these sunk costs. And you also can do it. I think I did a little bit bougie, yeah. My gown, I got a custom made gown that was hand beaded, and like with like hundreds of feathers that were real feathers, and so I was a little extra. I didn't have to spend as much as I did, but there is money to be made, but really not all that much when you compare the costs. Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna have the music conversation, right? Because you don't only just look good, you can sing good, and I've heard you humming. So, what has what made you get into music? How long have you been doing music, and how does your music represent your St. Lucian heritage?
I've been singing as long as I can talk. My mom is a songwriter. She didn't pursue it professionally, but she's one of the best songwriters that I know. So I grew up with her singing all of her songs around the house when we were cleaning, doing anything, and I learned all of her songs. And I wrote my first song when I was 6, and it was a
Do you
club.
remember it?
I do.
What was the name of it?
I don't have a name. I don't remember the name, but it was a song about going to the club.
Hold on. At 6.
That's what was playing on the radio. That's like what I was hearing in R&B music at the time.
I think she rolled in the club.
Yeah.
That's a concept,
We
though.
listen, we don't judge. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But then from there, I started playing the violin. So I was in orchestras from elementary school through high school, and that really brought a new side of the musicality out of me, and that I really appreciate. Even in my music now, I don't make orchestral music, but you can hear with how I layer my harmonies and stuff like that, that I was raised in an orchestra. My stepfather is also a musician, so he came into my life when I was 6 as well. And he's in a band, so I would go on tour with them, and I'd be in the studio with my dad, and it was such a musical household. And we've always had a studio in my basement. No matter what house we lived in, we had a studio. So there were always musicians coming in, and I grew up next to Philly, so a lot of Philly musicians and some of the best musicians that I've ever seen were coming into my home, and I'd be going to shows and falling asleep in bars like at 9 years old because my dad was on tour. Like
6 going to the club. falling asleep. Oh, right. This is a interesting interview. Okay, parents.
He's a rock musician, so it was a little bit of a rock and roll lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
But I wouldn't change it for the world, and I love his band, and I still love going and seeing them play, and that inspired me. And when I was 12, I got a guitar, and then that gave me a lot more freedom in my songwriting, and I can play the piano, and I knew that I wanted to do this as a career from the time I was like 14. That's when I was like, this is what I want to do. And I played a lot of shows. Every, like, if there was a farmer's market, I was playing. At school events, I was playing all throughout college. And then I did take a break from music for a while. I was really just, I was lost in my music, and like I said, my confidence was shaken. But I found myself back through music, and I make country music, and I think that's something that held me down before. Being a black woman making country, I didn't see myself. I didn't see how there was a chance that I could make a real career for myself as a country artist. So I was like, I'm gonna do R&B. I'm gonna do what's expected. When people would look at me, they're like, "Oh, you're an R&B singer," and I was like, I can sing that and I can write it, but my heart is in, like, I like pop, but I also love country pop, and I love folk. I love jazz, and I like live music really, really, like, so much. And I think my St. Lucian heritage ties right in because I grew up on country and western. So we love a lot of Lucians, especially the older generations. They love country music, and every Sunday that's what my grandma would play to clean the house, and I it just feels like home to me, and it just feels right in my spirit. So that's what I'm allowing myself to do, and I'm so grateful, even just like for Beyonce making her country album and what she's been able to do and open up for black women in country is the most inspiring thing, because now I see myself, and I know that there are young black women who love country music. They love the banjo, they love the slide guitar, like they love the steel, like, and they are going to be pushing themselves towards it, and I feel so empowered to just like go and put out my country album and see what happens.
That is beautiful. Like, wow, I would have never guessed country music.
And St. Lucians,
In
we love music.
I would listen. I would have never guessed that, but that's the beauty of.
Love country music. We have like country and western actual bars and clubs and like we are like country and western is one of the top things out in St. Lucia. Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning a lot. So my question is to both of you ladies. Keeping in the spirit as this is Women History Month. Um, both Saint Lucian. You have your business. You have your business. How are you guys gonna be a beacon, or more so representation to St. Lucia with everything you're doing? Like, like what is it that you want to show women and St. Lucians about you guys' business and your journey? Like, what are you guys trying to convey, and what else would you do to go back home and help? With your business skills and with your singing and your beauty pageant, like how would you be giving back to St. Lucia? So with you first.
So for me, St. Lucia, everything that I do, St. Lucia is right at the top of the list. We have a few activations planned this year, which we'll announce pretty soon, which are beautiful activations that I'm excited to share. But for us, it's definitely being able to channel that. Um, I think being a woman, especially in the industry that I'm in, you don't typically find a lot of women, especially a lot of black women in this industry. It's a very white male dominated industry. So for me, it has just been for from the time I think, from the time I could walk, it's been me showing and proving that there's so many things that black women can do. So for me, it's definitely being able to push that forward and do that on the island as well. So stay tuned for all the good things we got coming up this year. Like, I mean, amazing things.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you.
For me, when it comes to the music side of things, I love St. Lucian music. I'm a really big Dennery Segment fan, and I one of the things that I've noticed is there aren't very many women. Like in Jamaican music, in Trini music, you have some women who are doing their big things in it, but in Dennery Segment and St. Lucian soca, I don't see many women, and I would love to be able to be part of that. And I want to, with my mentorship platform for the pageant, I plan on starting a mentorship program that focuses on every aspect. So I can personally be a creative mentor for someone, and I want to get in with the young women and help them get in the studios, feel comfortable writing and being in those spaces, because it is hard as a woman in music because it is male dominated. So you're going into rooms, you're going into studios where there might be 5 men and you're the only woman in there, and it can, especially if they like how you look or whatever type of way, they're going to treat you like you're just a girl. And I have learned how to be in male dominated spaces and command respect. And I want to be able to teach that because I think it's a skill.
It is.
It most definitely is a skill. And being able to pass that on, I think would be really, really great. But also, the men have to be on board when it comes to the music. And I think that there could be some amazing Dennery segment women artists. And
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely. I would love to see that.
Right?
Love that. I love that. Let's
See that.
oh, taking in so much. Wow. Wow, this is beautiful. I'm loving the conversation. How proud of you are you of yourself for all the work you've been doing?
I'm really proud of myself, but I think I also, because I'm always constantly moving and doing things, I don't think I stop to really kind of give myself my flowers and be like, listen, girl, you've done, because I'm constantly trying to be as innovative, doing different things. I started out in design, apparel design, then went to home textiles, and then I'm selling like liquor and bud. Like, so my life has taken me in so many different directions that I don't think I've actually had the moment to be like, I'm proud of you. But I think, when I do sit down and say that, I think there's a lot to be proud of with what has been accomplished in, it feels like a long time, but Happy Cork has been around for 6 years. This March is 6 years. So for me, it's definitely like, all right, you've done a lot, but again, I need to sit down and be like, you've done a lot.
Well, I'm gonna add to that. You're getting your flowers here.
Thank you.
Congrats on everything you've been doing.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a hub for everyone to showcase their talent. So, because I had to act that a lot of time people just keep running and going and they don't really take the time in.
Yeah.
So,
That's
congrats
me.
and thank you.
Thank you.
Same for you. Like, are you proud of the work you're doing? Of course, there's more, but are you proud of the work and do you give yourself that grace and do you give yourself your own flowers?
I'm working on it. I think that there's just so much more that I want to accomplish, and I feel invigorated. And I think I am proud of myself for winning the pageant and the work that I put into that. But there's just so much more to do. And I struggle to sit back and say, good job. And I think a lot of people do, a lot of women do struggle with that and just feeling like you're not doing enough. And especially like at my age, I feel I could have accomplished way more by now and I haven't. And it's a very introspective time right now. Maybe in like a few more months, I'll be like, yeah, I'm proud. But right now, I'm just like driven.
So before we move on to my favorite part of this segment, yes, proud of you. See you. Like I said, just having conversation with you, I'm learning more about who you are, the beauty industry, the pageant industry, and I'm a country singer that has St. Lucian heritage. That is one for the books. I love that. I love that. So before we get into my favorite segment, let me say favorite. I love you guys. But there's some spirits, there's some rum calling me. So before we get there, what is the one thing you want to say to the woman listening right now and is gonna watch this interview? What do you want them to take away from the woman that's up and coming in this industry and the woman that's older and they want to get into this industry? So what do you guys would love to say to them?
I think for me, I would just like to say, we see you. Keep going, keep doing. If you haven't started doing, start. But also too, I think nobody's lucky. I think a lot of people think it's like, it's luck. They ended up that way. But I'm a firm believer. Luck is what do they say? Luck is when opportunity meets hard work. And honestly, I feel like, I'm not going to say I'm the hardest working woman in the industry, but I do put in the work. And I know so many of beautiful women are putting in the work and feeling like sometimes it's not enough. So I feel like I would definitely want to say you're enough. keep doing. If you haven't done, start somewhere. But don't be too hard on yourself, because we can all be so hard on ourselves. But life is worth living. So live it, but at the same time, like, understand that you're good, sis. We see you.
We see you, sis. I love that. I love that. Thank you for that. Thank you.
For me, I would say have a strong purpose, know why you're doing what you're doing, and have that purpose be outside of yourself. For me, I was guided by my family and by my higher power. So, whatever God you pray to, whatever community or family, some people don't have strong family ties, but have something beyond yourself to be working for. And teamwork. I think teamwork is extremely important. I wouldn't have gotten through this pageant without the other girls. We all leaned on each other. I called in so like I was on the phone all the time. Like, I need guidance, I need this, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I used to struggle so much with asking for help. I felt like I needed to be able to do everything on my own in order to be successful and to feel like I earned it. But it's not true. It does take a village to raise a child, and then that goes on through the rest of your life. We have a community for a reason. We are community oriented beings, and I think we need to tap into that more to be successful in any capacity.
Wow. Listen, you ladies, hear that? Give yourself some grace. Give yourself your flowers. Start. And if you didn't start, start. Just do it. Be persistent. Be diligent. I enjoyed talking with you ladies, learning so much. I'm inspired. I love women. Thank you for talking to me. This is Oliver, Taylor, Miss Sunshine. Stay tuned. We got more coming.
And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.